Sturmgewehr here from the Military Arms Channel. So anyway, you know what? One of the oldest debates in the history of modern handgunning is which is better, 9mm or 45. Rarely do you hear people talk about 357 SIG or 10mm versus 9mm versus whatever. It's always 9mm and 45. You have two camps. Yeah, actually you have three, because I probably belong in the third category, agnostic. One camp is 9mm. They think 9mm is cat's meow. Carries 1,000,000 rounds. It's lightweight, low recoil. Then you have the 45 camp that thinks it's a death ray. One shot in the kneecap will kill somebody instantly. Again, I subscribe to the third group. I don't really care what caliber you use, 9mm or 45. Just learn how to use it. When it boils right down to it, folks, it's not about how powerful a handgun is, because in the end, all handguns are horribly underpowered. They are not death rays. They are not something that's capable of knocking somebody down. I'm so sick of hearing the term knockdown power. They don't. They are simply designed as a backup weapon to get you to something more powerful like a rifle in the military world. In the civilian world, we carry handguns for concealed carry. That's because that's what we have access to. You're not going to see somebody walking into their local McDonald's with an AK slung over their shoulder. It's going to cause a disturbance. People just don't typically do it, except for you guys in Arizona. Anyway, so pretty much as civilians are relegated to carrying a handgun, and that's fine. Handguns are fine defensive weapons under most circumstances, but there's a reason why police have rifles and shotguns in their car. Handguns don't always cut it. A handgun is not necessarily the best man stopper out there. I don't care what caliber you choose or what ammunition you load your pistol with. It's all about, in my opinion, two things using a handgun effectively. First of all, it's shot placement. Hit that person in the ticker, hit him in the central nervous system, you're going to stop the fight. The other thing is penetration. That's important to me. You're going to have to punch through light barriers. You're going to have to punch through heavy clothing. You're going to have to punch through fat, muscle to get to that organ that's important to that person, right? So penetration and shot placement are the two most important aspects of a handgun cartridge. And 9mm or 45 both penetrate effectively. They both go over 12 inches in soft tissue, which is ample penetration for both cartridges, or for a handgun cartridge in general. Some people think that the solution is these wonder bullets that come out every other day. Well, gee, if I get this Super Whippo hollow point, this will make my 9mm a 41 Magnum. Okay, you know what? I'm not opposed to the use of hollow points. I think that it's fine, but a lot of people trade penetration for a bigger bullet diameter. They don't even really know what those bullets are capable of doing. They just buy the latest and greatest. You know what? Given a choice between an unproven hollow point that I really don't know what it'll do in a ball round, I'm going to take a ball round. I don't care if my 9mm turns into, a 38 caliber goes into a 40 caliber upon expansion. I don't care if a 45 turns into a 50 caliber hole. That, to me, a fraction of an inch here and there doesn't make that much importance to me. It's because that bullet has to go someplace important. Shot placement. And another aspect I haven't mentioned yet is what you're taught either in the military law enforcement or any quality self-defense course. You're taught to shoot until the threat is down. So this is where the two cartridges kind of differentiate themselves, okay? A 9mm does hold more ammunition typically. You can get a Glock, such as this one, that has a 2-round extension butt plate. This holds 19 rounds of 9mm. Shoot until the threat is down, right? You don't really want to count on one-shot stops. I don't care how much junk you read on the internet. You can't count on a one-shot stop. You've got to shoot until that threat is down. If you take a look at an after-action report with most officers upon being interviewed, they couldn't even tell you how many rounds they fired. They have to count the rounds in the magazine, assuming any rounds are even left in the magazine, right? You're going to shoot until the threat is stopped, the threat drops. Don't take a shot, wait around, see if the threat drops. Just shoot until that sucker is down. That's the only way you're going to make sure that you survive that encounter. Okay, so the 9mm does have a slight advantage in some cases. It certainly has an advantage over the 1911, which I actually like to carry. But you take a look at something like the Glock 21, which holds 13 rounds of 45, and it narrows that gap where the 9mm in theory has a slight advantage over the 45. So you can buy a 45 that has more 9mm type characteristics. Now you're not going to get the 9mm recoil. 45 is going to generate more recoil, but you know what, with practice, that's mostly irrelevant. okay? So, in the end, I think this bickering between 9mm versus 45 is much like that graphic that you see all the time about arguing on the internet with that little kid running in the Special Olympics. It's true, man. There's just no point into arguing this. It's mindless. The people that are making the arguments half the time got their first handgun yesterday. They really don't know what they're talking about. They never served in the military. They've never been in combat. They've never been served as a police officer. It's actually had to shoot somebody. They don't even know what the hell they're talking about. They're regurgitating crap they've read on a firing line or the high road or some other gun forum, and it's pointless. So, tell you what, learn how to use your weapon effectively. Learn how to hit what you aim at. If you can hit what you aim at with a 9mm, use the 9mm. If you can use the 45, use the 45. I personally like both. I do opt for the 45 more often than not. That's mostly because it's as American as baseball and apple pie. I love the 45, but it's not because I think it's a death ray, okay? And I will find myself carrying a Glock into situations where I think I may need more than 1 round or even 8 rounds that 1911 offers, because I do believe in the philosophy of shooting until that threat is down. The more ammo I have in the grip, the less likely it is I'm going to have to reload, and the more threats that I can engage, possibly. You know, when the lead starts flying, you get tunnel vision, adrenaline starts coursing through your veins, you're shaking all over the place, you don't know what the hell you're doing. All you can do is focus on that threat and shoot until it's down. Having more ammo does help, okay? But 9mm doesn't have a corner on the market. So, in the end, pick what works for you, shoot, learn how to use the weapon, make shot placement count, and that's what's going to win the debate. Thanks for watching, everyone.